Today's lesson is called Three Strikes Against the British. Michigan was still not a state. The settlers here had been influenced by the Native Americans, the French, and the British. The President of the United States named William Hull governor of the Michigan Territory in 1805. Detroit was only a city then, but when he arrived in Detroit, he found that the city was burned down. Who was behind all this? The British. So the war with Britain was not over. The British kept troops in Canada. Remember, our country has fought Britain 2 times before. The first time was the War of Independence, and the second time was when General Wayne led the battle against them. So here we are in 1805, and the British were still a thorn in the side of the United States. They stopped our ships and had the Native Americans attack our settlers. So years passed, and now it is 1812, and the United States declared war on Britain. It is called the War of 1812. But the British were ready for us, and they captured Fort Mackinac. Governor Hull didn't want to lose more lives, so he surrendered Detroit. And now Detroit is one of the few cities that can be said to have been captured by another country. It is now under British rule. Lake Erie is an important waterway, and it is important because supplies are brought to the people in the area. But guess who has control of Lake Erie right now? It is the British. Oliver Hazard Perry was a commander in the American Navy, and he decided that for the battle in the water that the ships need to be made faster, and so he designed ships that would work in the water better. But even still, the battle between the British and the Americans, the British were winning. Commander Perry decided to risk his life and switch warships during the battle. This maneuver worked out, and the Americans took control over Lake Erie. So what about the Native Americans who helped the British? Well, the Native Americans were led by a man named Tecumseh. Tecumseh was a strong warrior, and he didn't want the settlers here in Michigan because they would start towns and take away their land. He felt the land belonged to all tribes. But Tecumseh followed Britain back into Canada, and the Americans followed them. Tecumseh was killed in 1813. The British and the United States made peace in 1814 and left Michigan alone. Now it's your turn to complete the worksheet on Tecumseh. Read his speech and think about the words in his speech. What is he saying to us all? Do you agree with his words?